Hey, today I'm going to talk about three foreign films from 1962. Was this theme intentional? Not for the first two, but then I put the restraints on to get the third one to match, and that movie was actually pretty great, so I'm glad I did this. Yeah. First up is Hussar Ballad. This is a Soviet movie inspired by a true story. This is about a woman during the Napoleonic War who really wanted to fight for her country. So she did a Mulan and dressed up as a man to go fight for Mother Russia. And it was pretty dang good. It's technically a musical, but like all of the songs are just like, hey, can you sing a song for us right now? And then they sing a song, or like, hey guys, let's sing a song right now. And then they're playing the piano while drinking and stuff. And like, I did like all the songs, but it's not a musical. And all the songs just brought the movie to a standstill, and they didn't progress the plot at all. And it's like, why are these songs in here? Again, I liked them, it's just, they weren't needed. There's also a love story in there that really did not feel needed. And when looking through the real person's Wikipedia page, I don't think there was a love interest. I think she just really loved Russia and wanted to fight for them. I do love how strong and smart they made her. Like, she outwits people left and right, and she is so brave and just goes balls to the wall crazy, and I love her so much. Though what's interesting too, well, again, reading the Wikipedia article, at the very end of it, it's like, and they continued to dress as a man for the rest of their life. And I'm like, oh, this Russian hero was actually a trans person. That's neat. That would make a lot of sense. That fact actually made me like the movie a bit more as well. It's a good movie. I would recommend it if this looks interesting to you. Just be prepared to, again, the music's good, it's just not really like musical great good. They're not gonna blow you away, but it's still a good movie. Next up is The Loneliness of the Long Distance Runner. This is a British movie, and yes, it is spoken in English, but I still needed subtitles because like their accents were thick. Ugh. Like I could understand them sometimes, but I was definitely missing key information, so I put it on real quick. With that still, I still like this movie a lot. The basic premise, it's about this guy who's maybe early 20s, he could be a late teenager, I'm not exactly sure his age, who he doesn't know what to do with his life. He doesn't really want a job, he just kind of wants to go around and hang out with his friends and steal stuff and just kind of live life. But eventually the law catches up with him and he gets sent to not a regular jail, it's more of like a correctional facility that you still do manual labor and stuff, but you get dressed up like you have a suit and tie, and then you're also required to participate in like track and field events. I was surprised how much I enjoyed this movie. It's not told in chronological order, and I really like that. Main thing I didn't like about the movie was it had very dated music. It made it feel very of its time, whereas like the rest of the movie felt timeless. I also really loved that ending. It was such a satisfying ending, because I wasn't really sure where the whole story was going for a while, and then like you get to the end and I'm like, how are they gonna end this thing? Is it gonna go this way or is it gonna go this way? And then like as it gets closer and closer, I'm like, it's gonna go this way. I know it. And then the end happens and I nailed it, and it was just good. It just worked so well. It's not like potentially the best outcome for the main character, but it's very true to himself, and I really liked that. So even though I ranked this one below Hussar Ballad, I would say I kind of recommend this one more. I think this could be more accessible to more people. Just, you know, there is the thick accent, so you might also need the subtitles to help you. And lastly is Jules and Jim. This is a French movie. The basic premise, it's about these two guys who have been friends for a really long time. They're really, really close together. And then they meet this girl and they both fall in love with her. And it's about their complicated relationship with this woman. It reminded me a lot of Two English Girls, both in just like the complicated nature of relationships, but then also they do the same thing where it's constant narration throughout the entire thing. But whereas in Two English Girls, I loved the narration. It added so much to the movie and made it just made it great. Here, it made it feel like we were skipping over really important stuff. It just felt like the whole movie was summarized. We weren't watching a movie, we were watching a summary of a movie. I don't know, this is like a prime example of like pretentious old French movies. It was rough to watch. I was gonna put it in the meh category for a lot of it, but I wanted to give the movie a chance and I was open to it, and I ended up putting it in the liked category really because of the main woman in the movie. I loved her character. She's so real. Like, I definitely feel like I know women like her, or just people in general like her. She's kind of, I don't know if manic is the right word, but sort of that bipolar thing where it's just like she is just like throws herself 1,000% into one thing, and then kind of something can set her off, and then she's 1,000% against that one thing that she was just super into. It's really intense and interesting. But yeah, no, I don't recommend this movie unless like you're really into French cinema. But even then. Alrighty, now for today's rankings. So when I was writing my rankings down, I got confused because I thought I liked Runner more than Hussar, but apparently I liked Hussar more than Runner. I did put them right next to each other, so it is really, really close. So first up is Hussar Ballad, and it's sitting number 44 in the quite like section, and then literally right behind it is The Loneliness of the Long Distance Runner, sitting number 45, also in the quite like section. They're both really, really good. And like I've said before, I don't like putting movies I just watch right next to each other because I feel like I'm comparing them the most, but like, I couldn't not. It was... And then bringing up the rear is Jules and Jim, sitting at 69 in the liked category. And this is out of a total of 102 movies so far this year. Yes, we just crossed over the 100 movie mark. It's bonkers, but I love it. Hussar Ballad was number 100, and it was a good movie. I'm really glad I watched it.